What is going on, YouTube? This is Roger here from the Klein Reef, and I'm going to give you guys my personal review of the AI Nano light fixture. AI is an Aqua Illumination, so you guys should know that if you don't know that by now. A very big forerunner in LED technology, competing with Radeon and Max Spec and all those big companies. Aqua Illumination, if you don't know, is coming out with the new Vega sometime in the next 2 years, like they said it was going to be, but I don't have that. I have the AI Nano Soul Blue, which is the model I have, which means it has a little bit more of a bluer aspect and more of a white. So it has 3 cool white LEDs, 4 blue LEDs, and 4 royal blue LEDs. I think that's what the ratio is. But either way, it gives you a really blue look, and I can show you just how blue I can max it out at in a little bit if you guys want. I can throw that in at the end. But I made a little bit of a review video for you guys. I thought I'd give you guys a little bit of a nice review, because I haven't seen too many of these on YouTube. I've seen a lot of criticizing videos for the first generation, but since I have a second generation Nano, I find it's a very, very good unit in my opinion. So let's start with the overall rating. I give it about an 8, 8.5 out of 10. It's a really good fixture. I like it. I'd get it again. The only reason it's at an 8, I got a couple things here I'm going to go through, but one thing that could have made it a 9 for me is the color. If it was black, it would have been an instant 9. Purely because a lot of aquarium technology out there right now is black, and so even if filters, skimmers, power heads, heaters, they're all black. Backgrounds on tanks are all black, and it's kind of weird that Aqua Illumination makes Souls in black and Vegas will be in black, but this one's still white. If they had a black option, I would have gotten that hands down, and like I said, it would be a 9, purely because I would like it to match the rest of my tank. But that's just aesthetics. As far as effectiveness goes, I give it a 9 out of 10. If color didn't matter. So let's see, I got a little bit of pros and cons here. Things I like about it, it's really sleek. I have an iPad in my hand, but if you look at it, it's a really square box. Looks really modern, really sleek. You don't see a lot of those DIY lights. You see the big heat sink on the top with the fan on it. This has got it all confined in a little box, and quite frankly, it's a really, really nice looking light. That's one thing I like to go for, is a nice clean looking light, like the Radeon, nice and clean. A lot of the fixtures I try and use I try to make them look like they belong on a tank. This one's going to be a little bit vague, but it's really effective. It's growing LPS in here. I got softies and SPS, and everything's doing really well. The way I have it kind of laid out here is I have it really focused in the middle. Since it's so low to my tank, I have the light really focused towards the middle, so I can put SPS in the middle and then softies on the outside. So that's one kind of thing I have with this, and it's got a really nice spread. I don't have the par chart on me. I threw it out, I think, with the rest of the box, but it had a really nice graph on where exactly the par readings are. But I'm pretty sure if I maxed it out, it could max out the any par meter anywhere in the tank. So right now I have it the max it will ever hit is 50%. So I think that's at 2 p.m. It'll hit 50% for a couple hours, then it'll start to dim back down. Along with those timers, they're really accurate. I can walk in at 7 a.m. when my first timer goes on, and they're already dimming out. It's really, really on the key, accurate, boom, boom, boom. The one thing that's gonna throw it off might be the time changes. So I'm gonna see how that goes. But I'm sure all you'd have to do is just recalculate the time, and it'll do it, which is not that hard. It's a matter of turning a dial, clicking, turning a dial, and clicking again, and then it's done. But it would be kind of cool if it had that kind of incorporated in there. I don't know if it does or not. What's really, really cool about this is really powerful for such a small box. I mean, I got warnings from some of my subscribers that it can burn my corals. So I don't doubt it. I had it in my 60% and things were starting to turn white. So I backed it down to like 30. And everything's coloring up really nicely. The zoanthids are nice and orange. Candy canes are nice and green. The millie's nice and green. Everything looks really nice sitting here at 30, 35%. I can actually check what the spectrum is right now. It's at 31 white, 45 blue, and 36 royal blue. So and I think it looks really nice. What was I going to say? The blues, this is actually one of on my pro list. The blues on this tank are insane. So if I switch to here to manual mode on the controller, which I'll get into in a little bit. Wrong button. Oh no, I hit the wrong button. Alright, give me 1 second here. Technical difficulties. So I want to set the mode here to manual, yes. And I'll show you just how gnarly these blues are. So I can just drop the whites down to nothing. 0%. Oh, there's 1%, 100%. Come on, sweet spot. Alright. So you can see these are just the main blue lights. This is 100%. So you can just see. I think it has a little bit of royal blue mixed in, but you can see how it's just super blue. It turns the clown black and bleaches out all the colors. And then so those are the main blues, and then these are the royal blues. And these are just insane. They actually bleach out everything. You can't see anything, but it makes everything pop so well. The colors on this thing are just absolutely mind-boggling. But I'm going to dim it back down so you guys can see. Turn the lights. There we go. Alright, so I'll leave it about here so you guys can see. Oh, it's a little blue still. Some color. Oh. So, yeah, it's really cool. You can kind of mess around with the spectrum. It's really kind of cool. One other thing I really like about this light is the heat sinks on top of it. So, if you look here, the heat sinks up above, and it blows air downwards and out the sides. So no humid air from down here is getting blown up across the unit at all. It's taking unhydrated air from up here, blowing it down across the fan and out the sides. And it gets out, I can feel the air all the way to about right here. So about a good, 11, 12 inches away from the unit, which means that's cooling really, 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 really efficiently. What was I going to say? So that's good to know. The original AA Nanos, the ones that first came out, had a big problem with the fan hitting the screws that it came with. And I don't have that problem. I have them screwed all the way in. And I guess it's just a first generation thing. They patched it, or whatever you want to call it, fixed it, modified it. Now the fan works perfectly. The screws I left the really long screws in purely so I could do the tilt. So I have the screw at about half the distance in the back, so I have it on an angle. That's why I kept the long screws in. So that's enough for what I like about it. Let's go into what I don't like about it. I already touched on it. It's white. Not a big fan of white things, just because it can get dirty. White things tend to get a little bit dirtier than black things. You can hide the dirt on the black a little bit better. The arm mount. I want to talk about the arm mount. The first generation arm mounts were, I heard from multiple people that they were garbage if you didn't have a rimless tank. See, lucky me, I have a rimless tank, so I don't really have to worry about it. What's good is it's all plastic with plastic screws, so you can, if you do have a rimless tank, or modify it some way to attach to a back of a rim tank, which I've seen on YouTube a bunch of videos like that. Plastic screws can just go slip right in, boom, boom, tighten, not affect your water quality at all. And I'm not seeing any problems with it as of right now. It's doing really, really efficient job at holding my light. I mean, how hard is it to hold a light if you have it set up right? One other thing is you can't see the cables from straight on. The only way you could see the cables is if you go and you look sideways. Like another thing, the first generation, this power cable. If you guys can, I'll show you in a little bit here. You guys can see this power cable here. if you can see this little black box here, in the first generation, it didn't fit through the holes in the back of the mounting arm. There's two holes, one for the data cable and one for the power supply. I think that's the power supply cable. Yeah, didn't fit through that hole. It was a little tight fit, but I got through. I don't know if it's the same arm mount or they fixed anything, or that person just did not know how to finagle things. But I got it right through. It looks really nice. It keeps it really sleek, and I really like it a lot. I really like the arm mount. The only way I'd like it better is if it was black, so it matched. If the light was black, so it matched. I'm going to go into the touch interface on this. I didn't get a lot of time to mess around with it. I played around with it for a little bit, realized I didn't like it, and plugged in the controller. That's how much I finagled with it. What's weird about it is there's one here for white and there's one here for blue. And I don't really know how to work individual blue, because since there's two blues, I don't know how to work each blue. I didn't really try. I'm not going to admit I didn't really review this part, because I just bought the controller with it, assuming I wasn't going to use the touch interface. But yeah, I mean, I got really nothing on there. It's really kind of weird when I was playing with it, enough to make me stop using it. I know Aqua Illumination is going in with the big 20 control, or whatever, 9 colors or whatever crazy things on the Vega. This only has 3. It has a cool white, you know, the blue and the royal blue, and the cool white looks really icy, which is one thing that looks kind of weird at first, but you get used to it, and then you just turn the blues up and it looks a little bit more blue and looks kind of nice. I know a lot of people aren't a fan of the big cool white light LEDs. I think the Radeon has cool white and warm white, if I think correctly. This just has cool white, so you get a little bit of an icy look. I personally like it. A lot of people don't. So the last thing I want to talk about, alright, 2 more things to talk about. One's the controller. The controller I really like. I heard a lot of bad things about the controller, but nothing that really deserves a lot of discredit from it. A lot of the complaints I heard about it is that it's kind of finicky. Like, you'll turn the dial and it'll go 2 things instead of 1, or like you saw me when I was finagling with the colors. It went from 99% to 2% over the reset over the course of like maybe 1 degree turning. So it's a little bit finicky. Not enough to actually bother me, since I basically set the timers and boom, done. It's like I don't really use it all that much. But it's really good at doing the controlling, which is what it's supposed to be doing. Once you start finicking with it a lot, it's probably going to be a little bit aggravating. But honestly, it's worth it. It's worth whatever. I think it was like $70 or whatever it was, 65 or whatever it was. I mean, it wasn't that bad. It's not that bad, and it works really well, I think. Last thing I want to talk about: salt water, salt creep. I know a lot of people with topless tanks have issues with salt creep on lighting fixtures or around the top glass, or if you do have a rim, like on my 29, the salt creep around the rim. Since this is so low to the water, even with the arm mount, like this is about, it could probably go about whatever this distance is, a little bit higher. I mean, so it's gonna get that much less salt creep. So I mean, it's not gonna be completely away from salt creep. But what I have noticed is that it's completely sealed, this bottom. So there's, it has the bottom material, like such as up top and on the sides. It comes around the bottom, and then it'll have 2 clear lenses that protect the actual LED components. So you can basically just wipe off that lens, and it's clear again. So I mean, it's not that really big of a problem, but it's something to be aware of since it's sitting so low. You'll get salt creep on the sides a little bit. You guys can see my finger here. There's a little bit of salt creep there. But I mean, once again, not enough to bother you, but something to be aware of when you're looking for lights. One last thing I want to say is don't underestimate this light, because I've seen a bunch of videos on YouTube. These things, 2 of them powering a 40-gallon breeder tank. I've seen one of these powering a 29-gallon BioCube. So I mean, it's really is a lot more powerful than this little sleek white box looks. So I know this is kind of a really long video, 15 minutes, but I hope you guys I answered some of your questions, or you know, kind of gave you a little inside look at the Aqua Illumination Nano Soul Blue system. Once again, I highly recommend it, but it is pretty expensive. It's $370 with the controller from Reef Geek. So I mean, it's a pricey unit, but I think it's worth, you know, 95% of it. I mean, just because it's, you know, shipping. But so yeah, don't underestimate these lights. And if these are out of your price range, I'd say look into the Eco Exotic LED strips. I mean, if you have a tank like this, little 6-gallon Blue Ball Edge, or even like a 10-gallon Nano, or I know they make those strips all the way up to like 4 feet long. I don't know how good they are, 4 feet long, but you know, those are always an alternative. I get a lot of questions like this. What's an alternate for this? I'd say DIY. You could DIY. You can build your own setup, your own dimmer, your own timers, and everything. But you have to be a little bit more technically advanced. I'd say the Eco Exotic stunner strips and whatever those other ones are called. That would be a really cheap alternative compared to this. And my old LED strips, those Epistar ones from China. If you go back a couple weeks, months, and you see my lights are for sale video, those lights were really cheap. They were $100 a strip, and they were, you know, 24 inches long. So I got a pretty good deal on that. But yeah, sorry about this video being a little bit longer than normal. Kind of got off on a little bit of a rant, but yeah, I think that's all I really got for the review of the Nano. Once again, I hope you guys learned something, and I hope I answered all your questions. If I did not answer your question, or I missed something that you think should be important, write it down in the comment section below, and I'll sure to give you some credit. Maybe put an annotation in here saying something I missed, something I said wrong. Don't just dislike and run away. Say what I did wrong. That would be a little bit helpful. And yeah, I think that's all I got. So thanks guys for watching. If you stuck around till the end, I'll see you guys later. And if you guys want me to review something else that I have, or anything on any of my tanks, just let me know, and I will get my best shot at reviewing. This is my second review video ever. I'm trying to pick apart everything. I will be doing the Radeon review soon. I know it's kind of a long wait, but I'm getting off on a tangent again. I'll see you guys later. Like if you like, and comment if you want to comment. See you later, guys.